Hi, don't you just hate repeating yourself? I know I do, so I think you probably do too. So what if there was a way that you don't have to do the same steps with every new project? Let me show you. So today we're going to get a little technical and it will involve some programming. So let me start by first selecting new project. We're going to make a new project and my editor version is 2022.3.5, which I used the other time. Same thing, doesn't really matter. I'm going to do just this for a new project and I'm going to call this Unity Setup. Why? Because I'm going to talk here about Unity Setup, nothing else. So that will take a little while to load up. So let me stop it right here and I will get back to you when this is loaded. I really should have made a pot of coffee. So now that this is loaded, let's start by doing what I usually find myself doing. And that is just basically removing everything. We even don't want this sample scene. I don't want it, just remove this thing. So we're not going to save this, obviously, because that is not something I need. So I also don't want this directory anyway, so just remove it. I don't need anything here. So I always would start by creating a folder, call it project, and most likely I will create a folder called art. I will create a folder called, create a folder, animations. I will be prefabs. I always have prefabs. And I will be creating a folder called scripts and also a folder called scenes and probably one for audio because, well, any game is nicer with audio in it, right? So let's say we have these folders and that may not seem like a lot of work, but we had to do that and we have to do it ourselves. And it's, I think, basically a waste of time. So now that we've seen that, oh, and before I forget, I got told this another time, and I take this too hard. Some of you may not use this layout. This might not be familiar to you guys. So if you ever have that here at the right top, you have a button or a drop down called layouts. So if you want to not have this layout that I'm using, just go to default, and this is the way that it usually will show up for anyone. I personally like it better the way it is. To just make your layout the way you like it, then hit save layout, name it, and here you go. You have your layout the way you want it. If you want me to make a tutorial video one day on how to save your own personal layouts the way you like them, then please also tell me and I will gladly make one for you. So first, here we go to the project settings, and I always like to do this in editor. I always like to put here my root namespace, and I will make a Dragon Spirits typing problems called Dragon Spirit Games, and let me call it tools in this case, because we're going to make a tool that we can reuse later. So now that we click out of that, that's all saved. And as I told you guys before, namespaces are pretty important. They will create, in short, some assembly definitions, and those assembly definitions can greatly increase your building speed. And especially with larger Unity projects, that can become quite handy. So if you guys want me to cover those again one day in more detail, please let me know. Then I will handle that and make a video. So now that we have that set up, let's clean up the assets. We have everything that we have here. We don't need it because I will have it created later. So up and now he's throwing it away. Yes, I am, and I will show you later why that is done. The only thing I will want to have right now, and for that I can just, well, misuse basically a directory because I normally wouldn't put it there, but now we'll put a scene scripts folder here, and let me create a new C# script called tools menu. Doesn't have to be called that, but I just like that name because we're going to make a tools menu. Wait this to load, and then we load up the script. Right. So here we are in our super cool tools menu. way the mono behavior, because we're not going to use it as a mono behavior Unity engine that you're going to be using, but instead it's going to be Unity editor. So Unity engine here is going to be changed to Unity editor. We'll say that we're not using it yet, and that's true, and we're making this class static. So let's start by first things first. We need it to be a menu item because we want to see this in Unity, and we're going to call this tools, then setup, and we want to create our default folder, right? That's what we want to do. So our function is called public static void create default folder. Right. So just to show you that that is doing what we want, shift build, we're building this first. We go back to Unity. And once that compiles, that takes a while, suddenly we see here a menu called Tools, right? It's got Setup, Create Default Folders. Well, currently, obviously, this is not doing anything yet because we didn't set up any functionality. But we're going to do that right now. So here we go. First of all, I want to be creating directories, right? So let's say I'm going to want to have a folder, create directories. That's what I'm going to directories, right? So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to start with a project. Then I want to have art. We already saw that. I want to have audio. We want to have animations, right? We want to, oh, I'm going to do that good. We want to have prefabs. We want to have scripts, and we want to have scenes. I think that covers basically all of what we want, right? And now you see this quickly line here that we don't know. We create directories. That's correct. We don't. We haven't set this up yet. And let me show you how control dot and then create method create directories. Now, obviously, we don't want it to do nothing. So, and we also don't want it to be set up like this. So what I want to do is here, string root. So we want to have our root directory, right? Because we don't want anything to be set up outside of our own directory that we want. And this I personally don't like, and we don't need this because we can do this as a set of parameters. And we call this a string array of directories, right? So what we want to have is a row of directories that are going to be underneath our project directory. So for that to work, we're going to have a full path. We want to know where we have this set up, and we're going to have to start by doing this a combine, not combiner, combine. And for that, you will see that we need another using statement, but we will get to that in a moment. And that will need a data path. Right. So what does this combine need, right? Well, I know for a fact that I need some static references here in the top. So let me start by using static system.io directory. That's the first. We're going to need that one. We're also going to need using static system.io path. There you go. We got the combine already set. We need a using static. I don't know why I keep typing system. Unity editor. Asset database. We're going to need those. And we're going to have a using static. Again, I don't know what is wrong with me. I keep typing the same thing. Unity engine application. That's basically what we're going to need. That's got the data path. The data path comes directly from your Unity application, so it will know where do you have set up your directory. So that's the base path that you will combine with your root directory that you just told the function to have, right? So now that we have this set up, we can do a for each. Oh, almost, you need first semicolons, for each new directory, or directory, I guess, directory and directories. We're going to have a new path. There's also a combine with the full path and the directory. So that is pretty easy, right? You can already imagine what this does. It combines your full path that you already set up from your root with your new directory that you will set up, for example, art or audio or animations, whatever. It's pretty simple. So whatever do we need to do more? Well, we need to create this new directory. And basically, that's it. So let me show you that this actually works. Ctrl+Shift+B for building it. That's quite a handy tip. Goes a little faster than when you have to wait for Unity to do everything. Wait for it to rebuild. Tools, setup, create default folders. And that doesn't work for whatever reason. I forgot. And that's why it doesn't work. And most logical, that will happen to you one day as well. So nothing wrong with that. We just forgot one simple little thing, and that's that after this, we will want to do a refresh. Why? Because simply those directories get created, and I can show you that in a moment that they're actually there, but see them. Here we go. We have their game dev. We have our Unity setup. There we have our assets. And even though we didn't see them in Unity, so let me go back to Unity so you can see that. They were not here. Now they are, because it's just gotten refreshed. Those directories get created, but we forgot to do a refresh. So here we go. This worked. And you see that our setup has been created. Now I can already hear you think, what the heck, Max? That doesn't help me at all. I still have to create code, and then that code creates the folders. Now I still have to do it all myself. True, but that's not what we're going to end up with. Because what are we going to do now? We're going to make a package out of this. A package, I hear you say. What the heck is a package? I will show you that as well in the next step. So what we're going to want to do now is we're going to want to make an assembly definition here. And we're going to call that Dragon Spirit Games Tools. Don't worry about this message here in the bottom right now, because I've had this before, and for some reason it keeps this in memory. Shouldn't do that anyway, but it did, so maybe because I did some versions of this video, doesn't really matter, but you can ignore this message. This works like it should, and we can just create our package right now. So now that we've created our assembly definition, let us create our package. We do that by creating a folder here outside of our game dev folder called Unity Packages. Can be called anything you want, but I just like to call it Unity Packages. Then you're gonna go, well, I will create a folder called Tools, because we're making a tool here. And in that folder, we're gonna make a new text document, which is called package.json. Don't get scared. We're just going to make a very, very, very simple JSON package. So here we go. It's not really anything that you need to worry about. There we go. And we call this, we start with our name. The name of this package is going to be com.dragons.games.tools. And in case you're wondering, name of a package should, well, basically almost every JSON part should always be lowercase, because that's just how JSON likes it better. So description, collection of tools used in Dragon Spirit games. That's a little tongue twister for you there. Version. So our version will be a 0.0.1 preview 1. Doesn't have to be that, of course. That's up to you. You can do whatever you want there. And the display name is gonna be Dragon Spirit. Dragon Spirit. Sometimes autocomplete doesn't help me. Dragon Spirit Games Tool. Right. So that's it. We got our package ready. And all we need to do now is from our projects, our game dev project, our Unity setup, we have our assets. And what we want is this part. We want to have everything that's here. We want to copy that or actually cut it. We don't want it anymore in our project here. Unity package tools and copy that over here. So now if we go back to our Unity, you will see that we will have nothing anymore. No definitions of anything. We have no assets. We have absolutely nothing. And we are still having our tools menu because we just basically already used that in this. So for me to actually show you, we'll have to remove the package first because I already installed it in the previous video. So we remove it. There we go. And then from add package from disk, we just go to our, let's go from the beginning, packages, projects, Unity packages, tools. We just click on the package JSON file, double click it. And there you go. You have our version, you have our description, you have basically anything you can ever want. And you have, very cool, your own name of tools that you have in your packages that you installed. And this you can install in basically any project. And to demonstrate that, let me just go back to our little project here. Just make a simple 2D project. I don't know. It's called whatever we call it, tutorial. I don't care. I'm going to remove this afterwards anyway. Just going to have to do a little bit of a setup. Okay, so here we go. We're back at it, and I could have drank the entire pot of coffee at the same time. And as you can see, we got an entire empty project. We have nothing in this, just a scenes directory. And like I said, I don't like these, so just remove these. That's all we want to do. And then we want to go to Windows. We want to go to Package Manager. We want to go again to the same thing that we did before, add package from disk. Double click the package JSON. There we go. We have the Dragon Spirit Games tools. It will take a little bit for compiling. But you can already see here at the top, we have now our tools menu. So as soon as we click out of this, tools, setup, create default folders. There you go. We have our project folder, animations, art, audio, prefabs, scenes, and scripts. So that was everything I have to show you for today. I hope you find that helpful. And if you do, please drop me a like below. Maybe click the follow button and subscribe. And yeah, who knows, I'll see you with the next tutorial video. Please let me know if you have anything that you want me to address.